Meet Tom Steyer, one of the world's biggest funders of left-wing environmentalist politics. Planning to give away all of his $1.6 billion, he is already spending at or above the level of George Soros. Steyer's biggest spending has been on his Need to Impeach political committee and his next-gen climate action super PAC. Need to Impeach has been described by The Atlantic as having more reach than the National Rifle Association and has pressured Democratic Party candidates to support the impeachment of President Trump without waiting for the findings of the Mueller investigation. Next-gen climate action promotes causes and candidates who will restrict reliable energy in favor of unreliable and unaffordable alternative energy sources. But Steyer made much of his money in the reliable oil and gas he today spends millions of dollars opposing. In 2004, Steyer even became the target of attacks by student activists when they learned their universities had millions invested in Steyer's hedge fund, Farallon Capital Management, a heavy investor in coal mines and power plants. Steyer decided to leave the investment world in 2012, but in the last months of Steyer's leadership of Farallon, its second largest holding remained a whopping $220 million stake in Nexen, an oil and gas firm. And in 2013, despite surrendering his leadership over the fund while spending on anti-fossil fuel activism, Steyer remained personally invested in Farallon's energy position. Unlike Steyer, who has called Charles and David Koch evil, I think Steyer likely has little malice in his heart and wants to make the world a better place. But he is a hypocrite. Green energy may be the future, but it's still much too expensive to be the energy of the present. With solar and wind, the costs of generating electricity may be dropping, but the cost of storing it at night and when the wind stops blowing is still prohibitively high. Calling this out isn't about protecting the fossil fuel industry, it's about protecting the millions of Americans living paycheck to paycheck who can't afford rent if their energy bill rises because they're mandated to purchase extremely costly green energy. Steyer the billionaire may be too far from that life experience to relate. Steyer's Next Gen spent $22.4 million promoting a yes vote on Arizona's Proposition 127, 95% of total funding. That proposition would have required, within just the next dozen years, that half the state's electricity be generated from something other than coal, natural gas, or nuclear fuel, which currently account for 80% of U.S. electricity generation. Steyer's vast wealth and impulse to support the leftward fringe of the Democratic Party make him a singular influencer in politics. Don't look for him to stop anytime soon. I'm Ken Braun. If you like this video, please help us share it and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.